Welcome to the Imagine Not Being Leeds.
Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, everybody, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. Sorry for the technical fault that cost me about 7 minutes. You know me, I'm normally on time. Punctual. The only place I am punctual is here. I'm usually late. Everything I do in life, to be fair. But yeah, I do apologise. I couldn't get the camera working, which would have probably made for a better stream if it was broken. So unlucky with that. You've got to look at my ugly mug. But yeah, I wanted to jump on a live, have a bit of a chat. There'll be a Fulham preview coming out probably tomorrow night. I've got late night Leeds on Friday as usual. Hope you're all back for that. But wanted to just have a little chat with you guys about just transfer rumours, the dealings in and out that we're hearing. There's been massive drop in odds on Jorgen Strand Larsson tonight, which I don't think happens, by the way, but what a transfer that would be if we could get that one over the line. Harry Gregg moving, the Harrison, Nonto talk, Joel Pido, Charlie Cresswell maybe going to Wolfsburg, and obviously Leonard and Ngegi coming in today. Unconfirmed still by the club, but the YEP have brought it out as well. Talk about Hamer, £6 million. There's loads of little bits out there, whether it's directly related to Leeds or it could be a domino effect that maybe affects Leeds at some point. I feel like it's starting to ramp up now after having not much sort of news and probably not much hope that there'd be any big deals happen at Leeds, and that may still be the case. But it seems today a little bit more is starting to move in and out of Leeds United. So we'll get into it. I just want to shout out, I see I'm already in chat. I just want to shout out, I've had a few personal troubles in the last week or so, and massive shout out to some members of the channel. Mike, massive help on Monday. Thank you so much. Love you to bits. And then Chris and Dave today, I've had a phone call with them too, and they've just really helped me out. Really sticky situation. I don't want to go into it on here really, but a bit of a sticky situation. Really want to shout out them for in particular. Thanks to everybody else for your support on here. This is my escape. I love it on here. Thanks for all the engagement, the likes, the comments. Everybody, thank you so much. You mean the world to me, but those three in particular, thank you so much for getting me through a really tough time. So yeah. And then here's Dave. There's Mike A. Slap a like on the video. Yes, please do that, guys and girls, if you don't mind. That would be great. Dave, big up for all the help you've given lately and support. You're a good guy. Hi, all. Yeah, sorry I'm late, Phil. I'm sorry, yeah. Hey up, pal. How are you doing? MOT, Nowhere Whites. Hey, Matt, you legend. Hey up, Russ. Hope you're good. Evening, Pat. Evening, Darcy. Gavin Link. Hope we beat Fulham as we need to. Yeah, we do, mate, but I'm fairly confident going into that one. Yeah, mate, it's going really well. I'll shout Joe out. Joe, if you see this, you're doing brilliant. He's just over a week, I think, into his rehab. He's doing brilliant. Nowhere Whites. If you've not seen, I follow him on social media. I chat to him. I messaged him the other day. Just Joe looks on the mend. He looks fit and healthy. Best he's looked in a long time. So, yeah, if anyone's wondering how Joe is doing on his socials, he's posting quite a lot on Instagram and his Facebook, and he's doing really well, and long may it continue. Wait until you get my... Yeah, I'll give over, Dave. Yeah, over you, bugger. Get to White. Evening, Matty and everyone. Tim Barnett should be looking at the kid from Barnsley. Yeah, he looks a good talent. Only 21 years old. 5 goals, 9 assists. Man of match. Yeah, brilliant performance, Tim. I can't disagree with that. Thanks, mate. Good luck to Joe. Yeah, I echo that too, mate. Thank you very much. Good news on Joe. Brilliant news on Joe Paul. Brilliant. Long may it continue. Right then, so I'm going to get into this. I'll try and keep up with chat. We'll see how it goes. I'll try and get through your comments. Normally, I just go through comments one by one, but I want to give my opinion on the sort of stories of transfer rumours concerning Leeds United in and out. So I'll try my best to go with a chat, but I might get a little bit behind. And you know me, I'm a little bit behind anyway. So we'll see how we go. Salty Dog, I was at Pride Park, missed you as we were stuck at Derby End. Oof. Did you celebrate when we scored, Salty Dog, or did you not risk it? Paqueta thoughts. Paqueta what on leaving West Ham? Brilliant. He's going back to Brazil, I think, isn't it? Last I heard. Or you're saying thoughts? Leeds maybe going for him. I don't think. Obviously, I've heard no rumours to that. But yeah, Paqueta leaving West Ham is brilliant for us. He's an X Factor player that the sort of players you want to lead. When we linked with Pajau, he's that sort of X Factor we wanted to get over the line, and we didn't quite do it. I think Paqueta's a class player, but I tell you what, I don't think he's suited to a West Ham relegation fight, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to dig in and give you those extra percentiles you need. Yeah, he's quality and he can win a game on his own at times. But I'm happy he's leaving for that reason. But depending on how much money they get for him and where they can reinvest that, it may end up being a blessing in disguise for West Ham. But on the face of it, West Ham losing that sort of player, it's got to be good for Leeds United. Gavin, love Joe to bits. Hope him all the best. I really do. All Leeds that way, Joe. Yeah, too right, Gavin. Echo all that, pal. Echo all that. Right, so I'm going to start with Leonard and Ngegi. I put a video out earlier, doing really well actually. A lot of engagement. A lot of people say, "Bloody hell, Mike, it's not a proper transfer." Well, it is. We have got him through the door. We signed him probably just over 12 months ago on a pre-contract. Couldn't bring him in until he turned 18. And yeah, I think he's about 6'3", 6'4", 18 years of age. Absolute specimen of just physically imposing for such a young lad. Physically, I don't think he'll struggle with the English game. We'll have to see how he goes with the weather, etc. But he's going to be coming in that under-21 setup with Scott Gardner. I expect him to do really, really well there. Everything I've seen and read about him, he looks a talent. And I absolutely love Leeds United going, scouting out in Africa. This is, imagine if he ends up being, I know, I don't want to say it, but imagine if he ends up being like another Lucas. Just imagine if we end up, you've got to do that. You've got to go and, scout in these areas and bring people in for small fees and then make big money on them. That's how you progress as a side. That's a model. Unfortunately, you don't want to be a selling club, but that's the model we need to be. We need to go out there and bring players in, before they get to that level. We need to be the team that gets them in small and takes them to that next level. And then hopefully they progress at Leeds United or they move on. And this could be one of them 18 years of age, been playing men's football for 2 seasons. Yes, it's a lower standard than Nigerian Premier Football League. I get that. But it's still been playing men's football, so the physicality won't be an issue. He's a left-footed defender, can play left back, also played right back for 3 games last season, which is strange. A right footer playing left back tends to happen. Sam Byram, Justin James. Thinking of a left-footed left back playing right back. Don't know why that baffles me a little bit, but he can sort of play across the defence, but predominantly he's a left-sided centre back who can fill in at left back, and he's quick. He looks aggressive in the clips I've seen. Aggressive front foot sort of player. Can take the ball and drive with it, which is good. He's press resistant, which is something you don't say much about centre halves. But again, hopefully he's got a really decent long future at Leeds United. The YEP have brought out today. It's still unconfirmed by Leeds United officially, but we know the deal did happen about 12 months ago. And yeah, just waiting for them to sort of release it. Whether they'll make a big thing of it, maybe not. With it just being probably an under 21s player, this shouldn't hamper or change any sort of feeling that Leeds will go for another centre half in this window, because let's be fair, we need first choice centre half cover or maybe even a starter, depending how you look at it. I kind of think I'm happy with the 3 centre halves we've got, but that'll sort of lead me now into obviously Doki. And obviously there's been a lot spoke about Danilo Doki, Union Berlin player. Absolute, got to go get him if he's available. If we can get a deal done now, brilliant. I'm worried with this one. I think it's a doable. I think it's probably our most concrete signing right now is Doki. I think that's the one you look at and go, everything I've sort of seen. Yeah, there's no credible journalist our side, but you're hearing it in across the continent that Leeds are in for this player. We're definitely in for another centre half. I think that goes without saying. And Doki, I think he's the right caliber of players, the right height, the right age bracket, the right price. The problem with Leeds is they want him for free in summer because it's there. A couple of months down the line, he's free. 11 million to free, it's a bit of a big jump in it. So I do think that could, if we stall and we wait any longer, we could end up losing that deal for a player that's worth, I think, 2 or 3 times, probably 3 times what potentially could go for this window. And the clubs who have been linked with him, Wolfsburg were looking at him, and that'll tie in with another sort of domino transfer I'll speak about in a bit. But I do think we need a Doki. I really do. I think he provide great competition, not cover as such. Competition, I think, is a starter. I think he's a step up on ball now. I think he's better than Pascal, although he isn't left-footed. So I think Pascal probably remains in that back three no matter who we sign this window. With him being a left footer, I think you need that balance on that side, especially to protect Gabby Goodmanson on the left hand side. Be interested to see how it goes. There's been rumours circulating about Biol as well, potentially going out, which I definitely don't believe that there's any legs to that whatsoever. There's absolutely no way would let him go. Fiorentina looking at Harrison, obviously made a bit of a side move to try and bring Biol in. But yeah, it's a madness at the minute. I feel like all of a sudden there's just links, and whether they're credible or not, a lot of links, a lot of mentions are getting out there now. It'd be interesting to see where it actually the land lies with it. Yeah, no celebrating, mate. There were 5 of us. It would be nice if Larsson rumours come to fruition. It would be nice. It would be nice. Paqueta versus Rafinha. Raf really fought for us in the relegation fight. Puts Lucas to shame. I agree. I agree. Where is the JSL rumour from? Saw the Bet365 Twitter. No, his agent is a huge Leeds fan. Again, Tom, I weren't really going to talk about it before I come on. I've seen it about a couple of hours ago. 33-1 down to 2-1. We're second favourites from. I think I've seen on bookies that the heading is on the 3rd of or the 2nd of February. Where will he still be playing? Where will he be playing football? And evens were Wolverhampton Wanderers, and we were 2-1. So it's not much of a jump there from where he's currently playing his trade now to where he could be at the end of January. So I even did a bit of a Google, bit of a deep dive search about half an hour ago, and I can't see anything else other than this Bet365 sort of post. So I'm not really one to sort of go off that, but I just thought we'd have a chat about it. Would you be happy with him? I assume we would. I'm kind of looking at it thinking Leeds aren't going to spend that sort of money, so I would rule this one out. The only way I could see it happening is a loan with an obligation potentially, because I do think it's going to be a 25-30 million pound signing for anybody who signs him. He's out of form this season. He got a hat-trick in the Cup, didn't he, this week? But out of form, 1 goal, I think, in Premier League this season. But I do think that coincides with Wolves' form. I think Wolves have been shocking this season, as we all know. They've been one of the worst sides we've seen in Premier League history. And I think when you're not getting the services, he's not putting away. I think 14, 15 goals last season for Jorgen Strand Larsson, showed his quality. I think in a better side, creating chances to score goals. I think in a Leeds United side, he absolutely thrives. I really do. Whether that's as a lone striker, if in fact DCL were injured or came out for Larsson, or as a 2, I think Larsson would work great. Similar attributes to Calvert-Lewin, but I wouldn't say no to him in the side. I'm sure Daniel Farke wouldn't. If he's available, I think Leeds would love him. But like Jamie's saying in chat here, money-wise, the financial side of this, I don't understand why a jump from 33 to 2-1's happened. I'm not a gambling man, but I assume the odds change the more money that gets put on him. So does somebody know something and that started the ball rolling, or is it just a case of a few people have chucked a few quid on and someone's seen it going down and it's just a domino effect where people have lumped on it? I don't really understand it. I would be gobsmacked if Leeds signed anybody of that calibre this window. But what I'll say is there's always the options of loans with obligations. And maybe that is an option for Leeds United. I mean, Wolves, I assume, would want the money, but maybe to get his wages off the books. They're already going down. They start prepping for next season. Strand Larsen is going down this season. Maybe moving to a Leeds United. Let's be fair, I'm sure he'd fancy it. But again, the finances, I'm just not too sure with that one. I'm really not. But it's a weird jump from 33-1 to 2-1. It's a massive jump. We won't get this centre back. Doki, Jamie, in my opinion, I think we get Doki. There's nothing to that. I just think we are after a centre back. Obviously, we brought that young lad in, but Ngegi. But I think we're going to sign another centre half. I really do. My only feeling we may not get him is based on the fact that ideally we want to sign a pre-agreement and get him for a free in summer. And there's good sides looking at him still. There's sides in and around us that would, there were Villa rumored with an interest. At one point, Newcastle were interested. Wolfsburg, there's multiple clubs looking at him. And I do think it's worth the wait. It's worth a gamble, 11 million quid rather than gambling with the wait, because, how many times have Leeds United stalled over years and over transfer windows and missed out on targets? It happens all the time. I can see why Leeds, let's be fair, I'm sure we all agree that he's on our list. There's no way we're not looking at a guy that's out of contract in, less than 6 months. A guy that's 10, 11 million quid. Five goals this season from centre half. Mental, like unbelievable. He's in the top 3 percentile across Europe's top divisions for aerial duels won, for touching the opposition box from a defender as well, like because he gets on the end of stuff from corners and set pieces. It'd be a brilliant signing, but we'll have to see how that one goes, mate. I think that's the most likely out of the ones we're linked with, in my opinion. But again, it's all opinion basis, isn't it? When it comes to transfer rumours, I love looking at transfer rumours and thinking if it's going to come to fruition and give my opinion on them. I love hearing people talk about them. It gets me excited, even though as a Leeds fan, Jamie, you are correctamundo when you have these feelings of, we ain't going to do it. It's too much money. January windows, we do not spend a bean normally, do we? We don't spend a bean. And right now, where we are currently sat now, 8 points clear, it wouldn't surprise me if the 49ers weren't asked about signing anybody of any notion. The more players that go out, says if Harrison goes out, etc., which I'm expecting him to go out and maybe sign tomorrow, I expect players to come in maybe to fill those gaps. I kind of look at it and think if Harrison goes, it may be a fringe option come in. But I want us to go out there and sign starting players to push that next level from those starting 11. Harrison's not pushing anybody. Yeah, you could get some Deadwood in, but that's all would be Deadwood. So if you're getting rid of Deadwood, bring people in who are going to push the starting 11. Look at Bogle with James Justin. Look what he's now got when Bogle's back from back and fit and firing. He's got James Justin right behind him now, who hasn't done anything but deliver since he's come into that starting lineup. And that's what we need in all areas, or the majority of areas. We had always try to get players on the cheap and end up losing out. Exactly, Paul, all the time. Just tuned in, not a chance. The owners put money up to buy Larsen. I don't think we get Larsen either, mate. I really don't. I'm not going to spend too long on it, really. I just don't see it happening. It'd be a great transfer. I just don't understand the dropping odds. If anyone could shine in a light on that as to why it would have dropped, and I understand bookies don't get everything right. I get that. But why the big drop? Why the big drop? Toon had a lucky escape with JSL at 55 million. It's mad in it, 55 million. But he's a top player. I think this season he's been poor, but Wolves have been poor. He can't do it on his own, can he? Nonto still at the end of the season might help finance it. Yeah, potentially. I'll tell you what, guys, yeah, I don't want to lose Nonto. But I've got a feeling under Farker, it's just not going to work for him. Nige. Hey up, Nige. Even my 49ers doing the usual transfer window thing, waiting until the back end. Very poor. We're at the midpoint, Nige. We're at the midpoint. Not quite the back end, but it's heading that way, innit? It's heading towards that last week or so. Rattling round hoping we get someone in, but we'll have to see. Depends on whether we sell Pido, says Tim. Yeah, I agree with that. He's come out and said he wants to stay and fight for his place. I believe if PSV come calling, I think there could be a deal that'll be done for Pido. I sort of think, obviously you've got top-end championship sides. I think we'll all want him. I've said if a Coventry or a Middlesbrough sign him, you can sort of sign them off there as promoted for me, because I think he's that difference maker for those sides at the top. But I do think a move abroad would probably be what he fancies, and I think PSV would be perfect. I also think it's his last proper go in Premier League, in my opinion. That might be harsh for any Pido lovers, unless he does go to a top-end championship club and tries to do what he's done at Leeds and not quite been able to do. But I think abroad, I think in the Eredivisie, whatever it's called, I can't pronounce that word, Eredivisie. In Holland, I think it'd be brilliant. I think it'd be a different option for PSV. It'd be like that, and that's what they've said. A different option of what they've already got. In being Dutch, I could see that happening. I really could. But I think that'll be a deal that happens later on in window. But ideally, any outgoings need to happen early for us then to get us funds together, see where it land lies, and then go get our targets to improve our squad. Hi, Matty. Harrison leaving is the best outcome for everyone. Any news on Bogle? Yeah, Bogle, I haven't heard any news on Bogle, mate. There were rumours of him going to Everton. There's been rumours he's had this knock, hasn't he, going on. We'll have to see what happens in Presser, I assume, tomorrow, John, and we'll see what happens. I expect Bogle to be back, hopefully, for weekend. I may be wrong with that, or at least be in contention, but I don't expect him to start with James Justin's form anyway. But in terms of outgoings, Bogle, I've not heard out by the stupid rumour that he might go to Everton. But yeah, that's it, mate. Why do we want to get him? Owners don't want to spend. Well, no. I mean, in an ideal world, Jamie, nobody wants to spend. They want to get maximum output, input, whatever, for the smallest fee. Don't you? Anything in life, you don't want to spend much, but you want the best outcome. I worry that we've had such a good run of form that they may look at it and think we don't need to do much in January because we've got a good enough squad. And I tend to believe we have got a good enough squad. In my opinion, Jamie, if we had no injuries with this side, we stay up. Problem is, we will have injuries. Pascal's not had his injury yet. DCL, we've said all season, if he stays fit, touch what he does, the likelihood is there's going to be some issue somewhere for us as Leeds United fans. There is. There always is. And that's the problem. So you need to have every eventuality covered, or at least some of them, most of them, if we can. Because if we lose DCL, you know, if you start losing players like that, I think DCL is probably, in terms of the importance for us getting points, probably the most important player for us right now, because I don't think there's anyone as good. I think if Amperu's probably one of his most important players. I used to say Roden and Bogle were, with all three of them missing, we've had a great a great result against Scum, not a great performance, good result against Scum, hard to beat still, even with three of our key players missing. But I think you take DCL out of that team, and I loved Metch's performance against Derby personally. I thought he was brilliant. Won as a penalty, set up the third goal. I thought he was great, but Premier League level, it's a big drop off, I think, to DCL. That's the area I look at. For me, if anyone's asking me my opinion where I think the money needs to be spent, I do think it's back up to DCL. I think it's back up full back, and I'd love that difference maker in an attacking capacity. A 10, a winger. It's hard because we don't really play with wingers now, but that's where I'm sort of looking at. But I think our most important player at the minute is DCL, and to not have any great depth there is a worry. And I reckon Pirro out and a striker in would be my preference. Larsen would be unbelievable, but Jamie, I think it's too much to ask. Our fortnight is just waiting for the right players. Goalkeeper, they have to be right. Goalkeeper again, massive key area for me, actually. That must slip my mind. I haven't spoke about Penny for a few days, Martin. Just reminded me. I reckon a goalkeeper too. That could be a massive difference in points. Please do me a favour, everyone. 174 people watching. Thank you. Mad numbers. Thank you. 48 likes. Please smash me a like on the video. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hot and cold is option to buy. So he will back in you. Yeah, Gavin, I've seen this. There's been a few little murmurings coming out today that it may be an obligation. And I've seen 15 branded. So the first sort of news break on it was a loan till the end of the season with an option of a €10 million fee. And then he'll be signing a 3-year deal, which is mad. Seeing all that out there, I'm thinking, bloody hell, you're asking for a bit too much here. We expect it to all work for Harrison for this deal to sort of conclude. But I've heard today it could be an obligation. Leeds are pushing for an obligation. This is why I think it hasn't come out today. We've known about this now, 48 hours, a couple of days. We've known about Fiorentina. We know he's probably going to end up there. I think it's just ironing out the finer details now. They want an option. We want an obligation. I think for what it is, Gavin, to risk losing this deal, I think just let him have the option. Let him go. Get the 90 grand a week. Yes, 90 grand a week off the books, which will allow us now PSR-wise and just in terms like squad numbers, it'll allow us the chance to bring in another player. And I think that's key. Fighting over an option or obligation for me, it is what it is, Gavin. An obligation would be perfect. That would be the best deal for Leeds United. But just getting him off the books right now till end of the season, with the short-term sort of goal being the most important one as of right now, I would say short goal should be the ones we're looking at. Mid to long-term, we want to establish yourself and grow year after year. But right now, it's just staying up. It doesn't feel as worrying now because I think we stay up with ease now. I do. I think West Ham have been that poor. We've been very fortunate that, West Ham and Wolves, established Premier League sides, have been so turgid. We haven't had to do brilliant things to create that gap. And I know a decent run of 7 games unbeaten is brilliant for a newly promoted side, but there were a period of time where things were so bad and we've sort of filled the gaps of getting a win against Chelsea, sort of filled that gap of losing against Burnley or Forest. So we have done good things this season, but in terms of how poor they've made it quite easy for us to now all of a sudden, a month later from struggling with 8-point gap. But yeah, I would love to get him off at books this season, and whether it's an obligation or option, I don't care at this moment in time. And yeah, when it comes to Doki, mate, Jamie, you're right. Just pay the 11 million quid. Just pay it. And but 11 million's fucking loads compared to nothing, So I sort of understand the conversation behind it, but it's still not done. It's no closer to being done. It looks like he's willing to move to Leeds. It looks like he wants the move to the Premier League. He's that age. He's got the talent. He's good enough, in my opinion, Jamie. Just do it. The sell-on value alone, you ain't going to drop. You're not going to get, not that I want to sell him, but he's worth 11 million quid. There's no gamble there. It's only 6 million more than Bornau, and for me, he's a lot better than Bornau. And Bornau's not looked a bad player recently, has he? So I think 11 million quid, just do it before it becomes too late. You know, that is the worry. You stall on these, and somebody comes in and just puts up with it because it's what they do. Hey up, Sebastian. If Leeds are able to buy Strand Larsen, if a loan construction or an obligation to buy them something, that's really mental. It would be a mental transfer, wouldn't it? The fact that Leeds in January don't do deals like I'm saying there with Jamie and everybody else, it's 11 million for a player we're definitely interested in, and we need a centre back. I think we need another centre half. Just to sort of, we thought we had enough. We now start with 3 centre halves. We are a body light. Sebastian Bornau has got a knock. There's also rumours that maybe he wanted to move on before he got this little run inside. I think you need it. 11 million quid. If they're not going to spend it on someone like that, are they going to go spend 25-30 million pound on Larsen? Maybe not. The loan construction obligation is the way forward for that. But again, I'm just not sure we'll do it. It just seems like too big a deal. I remember when we signed Joel Pido in Championship, and I was gobsmacked we'd done something of that magnitude at that level. That would have, we signed best striker in division. Whether you think he ended up being that or not, it's up to you. But I was shocked at that, and we were a Championship side. I was shocked that we'd actually gone and put a benchmark signing down and gone, who's best striker, who's been scoring X and Y for the last couple of seasons? You, right? Well, have you? And I was shocked at that. It's not the Leeds way. Like I said, this season, as much as at the time, some people didn't want DCL and didn't want Metcher and stuff. It's worked out quite well. But the sort of window, I think, were a good window in summer. But a lot of those deals were the deals I expect Leeds to do. Oh, he's a free transfer. Oh, Bornau, 5 million quid. And when we signed him, we sort of big him up. I remember, we've signed some bloody good players here. Bornau, he's caps for Belgium. And 5 million quid, a couple of free transfers. It's not great business on the face of it. If you get lucky and they end up being good players, then you've cracked it. And so far, so good with that sort of summer window. They've all sort of come good, bar Perry, in my opinion. But it would be nice for Leeds. And money doesn't buy you money doesn't guarantee you success, sorry. There's a lot more to it than you cost 50 million. I mean, look at the signings people have brought in this season, striker-wise. Ekatike, Isak. Ekatike's having a brilliant season, by the way. But you compare him to like DCL's numbers and that, and he's up there, isn't he? And he cost nothing in comparison to some of these players. So money doesn't guarantee you success, but it would be nice for Leeds just to lump down on someone and give us that sexy transfer that we're all sort of craving. Hey up, Brett. Evening, Matty. Late to the party. Must say it was good to see our teams take the FA Cup seriously. Brett, it really was. You should rotate. It shouldn't be as strong as maybe a Premier League game, but it should be strong enough and show the respect the competition deserves and the opposition. And we both did it. We both got through. Brilliant. I'm absolutely over the moon in next round, and it's a winnable tie for both of us, which is brilliant. And I can't wait to hopefully end up at Wembley against Sunderland. We still need backup for Gabby. We do. I'd really like us to look at Burrows at Sheffield United as backup. There's rumours circulating that you can get him for about 5 million quid. Is it Lyndon Burrows? I can't remember his first name. Burrows, the left back at Sheffield United. I'd have him tomorrow as backup. Hey up, Kershaw. Hope you're good, buddy. You giant of a man. The way we are set up, I think an additional centre back and striker are vital. We cannot move on Pirro without a replacement. I agree. And that's a stumbling block. I think Pirro, as much as he's saying he wants to stay and fight for his place, I think he knows he's not going to get much game time. I think that's fairly obvious. I do think he wants to stick out. I think he loves Leeds. But I do think there's also a bit of that, Kershaw, that until we bring someone in, he ain't going to be let go. And the worry is for Pirro, he's probably going to stay around the place, devaluating in his valuation and not kick a ball. And when he is called upon, it doesn't really fit our system. Unfortunately for him, even when they've moved to 2 up top, he's still not getting played, which is bonkers, really. Because whenever on this channel I've spoken about Pirro not working, even in the 4-2-3-1 in Championship or whatever, even though it did work, whenever they were having a bit of a balance spell where he weren't looking too good, or when he was asked to play a bit deeper or play in 10, it would always play with 2 strikers and let him play alongside someone, let him play off a striker. We play the way I think he would suit that system now, and he's still not getting game time. He's still, 4th choice behind, Calvert-Lewin, Metcher and Okafor, and then it's Pirro. We signed another one for me, he's fifth choice, so he's probably got to go for us to sign another striker. But I do think he's an easy one. I think he'll have suitors, me. I really do. It's just dependent on maybe whether he wants to go one and whether he's happy with where, maybe that side is. I think he wants abroad rather than Championship, but I think he scores goals whichever club he goes to. Me, I do. I don't see the people betting not coming to Leeds. I don't see these people betting not coming to Leeds. Maybe if Wolves go down this summer, yeah. Well, Wolves will go down, Pete Water. They will go down. And I think he's not a Wolves player next season, regardless. I think he moves on in summer, does Strand Larsen. Maybe it's just a case of they look at the deal now and think we can get more money for him while we're still a Premier League side than we can as a Championship side. Maybe there's something in that too, Pete. I'm not sure. Hey up, Mark. Hope you're good. This Jan window, we need to sign another couple to push us to that end. Stay up. Hope you're all good. Yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. I'm not tickety boo, but I'll be right. Good job. I've got some good friends. That's what I'll say, pal. Hope you're good. Oi, Matt. Hey up, Andy. Who you think starting in net stat? Hopefully, Darlow for me. Any news on Ramazani? I've heard no on Ramazani. Nothing. I was expecting him to be back, to be fair, but I've heard nout. But yes, goalkeeper wise, I expect Perry to start. I want Darlow to start, Andy. But I think it'll be Perry. Unfortunately, I do. Angela, hey up, Angela. Hope you're good. Hey, Matty and chat. Hope everyone's had a good week so far. Yeah, not bad, Angela. Hope you're good too. Right. Seth Faulkner, Harry Gray at Rotherham. Let's chat about that. I'm over the moon for him. I'm over the moon. I tell you what, I've seen his video, chatting to their press. You look on Rotherham and Facebook page or wherever you look, and for a fact all comments and likes and all Leeds fans, we're all rooting for him to do well. I don't actually think many people think this is a bad move. I'll tell you what, I am surprised at. It's bottom end of League One, but Rotherham, it's close to home. We'll have to move away. It's probably guaranteed minutes with it being low end League One. Bit of jeopardy there. He said he wants to go in there and score goals and help the team obviously stay up. So there's a bit of pressure there as well, which is good because we're expecting him at some point to lead the line for Leeds United. I think we're all open for that. And let's be fair, he's only 18, he's young, but we're not expecting him to, be kicking around on loan for the next 5 years. We're sort of looking at this, go out of a loan, and then maybe next season he's kicking around first team. That's how I see it. The problem is for Harry Gray, when you had Archie, he played at right back, and this is going to downplay Archie's role, and I don't want to do that because Archie was fantastic for Leeds. But he played right back, and he didn't bomb forward like a bogle. He had a job, and he come into midfield and made that midfield five sometimes. He wasn't asked to go up and down. He was a different sort of right back, and he was a great team player with Archie. But there's a difference between being a defensive player and having, the midfield helping you out, the defence, being part of a unit, as opposed to being a lone striker potentially for Leeds United with the weight of the world on your shoulders. And 2 games without scoring as a striker, you start getting questions asked, what's going on, is out of form? You're only 2 or 3 games away from that, aren't you, as a striker if it's not going well? So there's a massive difference between playing right back for Leeds United in Championship, leading the line for Leeds United in Premier League. So all eyes are on you as a striker. Number 9, it's that position. It's that Stardust position where they're the match winners. That number 9. It's where everybody wants to be a striker as a kid as well, don't they? And Harry Gray is a top draw player. But at what point does he become Leeds United's number 9? It's still probably not next season, but I think he needs to go smash it in League One, which I hope he does. Men against boys, we'll see, won't we? He's good enough. We'll see physically if he's up to it. Skill wise, I think he'll be one of the best players at Rotherham. I think he'll be that good already. He'll walk in there and be one of the best players. When he goes training, he'll see the massive drop-off from what he's been training with at Leeds. Hopefully, the physical side of it, he'll get kicked about. I'm sure there will be a lot of centre-halves in League One that will want to kick lumps out of Harry Gray. But hopefully, he goes down there and shows everybody what a talent he is. And the physical side will just naturally come as he grows and gets older. He's a big lad anyway. Just needs to put a bit more size on. Needs to have some pages out of my cookbook, but not too many, of course. But I expect him to do really well at Rotherham, Seth. It's a great move for him. Not much upheaval in his personal life. Just down road at Rotherham, and he'll score goals. And I'm dead excited to see how it goes. I'm sure we'll all be looking at the feet like we did when Bamford went to Sheffield United. Even though he'd left Leeds, we all still had a little look. How's he getting on? He scored again. Wow, look at this. I expect us all to do this for Harry Gray. Is a future of Leeds United potentially, hopefully. You know, we're only last week or 2 weeks ago, Man City looking at him for 40 million quid, and now he's at Rotherham. How good have Rotherham got it? You know, this is a player that honestly, there were talks and conversations from credible sources that Man City were eyeing up a £40 million bid, and he's gone on loan to Rotherham. You know, it's just till the end of the season. It won't be any more than that for me. It won't be. If he has a good time at Rotherham, he won't be there next season. He'll move. Worst case for him, he'll probably be at a Championship club next season. And then maybe a year after that, he'll be a starter at Leeds. But we'll have to see. But yeah, it's a great move. I'm excited to see how he gets on. I thought Pirlo was going to Birmingham. I've not heard anything, Jay, on that. Top end Championship sides want him. I think Birmingham, if I'm honest, Jay, just too low for him. I know they've got money and stuff, or I don't know what PSI restrictions Birmingham have in Championship. I'm not too sure. But for me, he'd only go to a Middlesbrough, a Coventry, or someone in that top six for me. No way he's going to Birmingham. Hey up, Arthur. Kershaw, 17 games. 17 games to go. We only need 4 or 5 more wins. You know what I'll say this, Kershaw? I agree. I think there will be lots of player changes, but the owners will want to wait until summer. Yeah, I agree with all that, yeah. 17 games to go, 4 or 5 wins. I get that, right? And that seems well feasible. Look at home games we've got, you know, Burnley at home. I think we'll get him. But we've only got 5 wins in 21. Do you know? We've got less games to go to get the same amount of wins as we got with 4 more extra games. So I've seen that today. I was looking at the table like, chuffing hell, yeah. Everyone said 4 or 5 wins, but that's all we've got all season. And we've got 4 games less to do it in. But I think the form we're in now is way better than the first 13, 14 games. I think in the last 7 or 8, we've sort of got a new identity, a new feel around the club, around the city, around the whole squad. And I expect those 4 or 5 wins to probably come in the next 10 games, if I'm honest. It sounds a bit ridiculous, I know, but I can see us winning, winning every 2 now for the next couple of months. And the last 6 or 7 games are quite good and in our favour. So, yeah, it's a good show. Cheers, Paul. Really appreciate that. Thank you. So, last day of transfer window. Surely our recruitment team have learned some lessons and won't leave it latest time. Selling clubs need time to find replacement. They do so. I aren't too sure if they have learned their lessons, I'll be honest. Sebastian said earlier, Pirlo will score 30 goals in a full season in the Dutch League if he joins PSV. Agreed. 100%. 100%. It was reported from Transfer Feed, that's all. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about that anyway. James Justin should keep his spot. Gavin, couldn't agree more. We've seen players come back just because of who they are, though. I didn't think Darlow deserved to be dropped when Perry came back from his injury, but they dropped him, and for me, that was the wrong choice because Perry cost 16 million quid. I feel like there's a pressure to play him. I think Bogle is obviously the starting choice, but I do think James Justin. I think you send the wrong message, Gavin. If a player goes out, you gutted to lose, granted, but if the player that comes in does well and fills that gap well, I think you send the wrong message dropping them to bring that player back in. I think there needs to be a little bit of a fight there for that number 2 jersey, and I think James Justin's up to keeping it. I think he's done brilliant. I think defensively he's slightly better than Bogle. Not as good going forward, but as you saw against Derby, it's a lower opposition, but he can get forward. He can score goals, and he's a leader, and he's got Premier League experience. So I always knew as a backup option, it was probably best you could get in Premier League for us in that at the level we are as a Premier League side. I didn't think you could get better cover. Our problem is we need the same cover on the left because I would never want to see James Justin starting on the left hand side. I don't mind him coming on and a gap filler, suspension, odd injury, but I don't want to see James Justin lining up for 3-4 games on that left hand side. I think the balance, him not being naturally left footed, I think it throws it out. I think we need to go get another left sided defender for me. It's going to be a very big risk if we don't buy it. Yeah, of course, it's a massive risk. It's a massive risk if we don't do it in January. And I've always been pro 49ers. I think 49ers done a brilliant job. They got slated at the start of the season for not getting the window right. It's taken time. Farker's adjusted. The window was right. Yeah, 1 or 2 missing. But you can't get every player in. 100 million quid spent, 10 brought in. Bar Perry, I think it's been a decent window myself. They got more right than a lot of people were saying 2 months ago. But we need more now. The ones that they missed out on, they need to go get now. 100%. Harrison gone yet? Not officially. I do think it's just the argument over the option or the obligation. They want option, we want obligation. If we've got to bend to an option just to get him off wage, we'll just do it. Penny is not Melier, so I expect Leeds will do nothing this window, but in the summer you need competition for Penny. Yeah, and I like Darlow, but if Darlow's the competition, this is why I don't rate Perry. Darlow is in the conversation as being like that with Perry, and that shouldn't be a thing. You know, at one point last season, Darlow couldn't get a game in front of Melier, who were throwing ball in his own chuffing net. And now we're saying Darlow's as good, better, maybe not quite as good. Similar conversation to a player who've just spent £16 million on, and he couldn't get ahead of Melier, which wasn't Darlow's fault. He should have been ahead of Melier all last season, really. Agree, the first 11 is good enough. We have to ask, where are we most vulnerable, in my opinion? Probably DCL and Gabby, the other priority, attacking mid-goalkeeper. Yeah, I agree with all that, BMG, I really do. I think the most important player probably for Farke, he says it all the time, is Ampadu. But I think if you lose Ampadu, we've proven we can sort of play without him. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see it. He's one of our most important players. But, you know, central midfield, we've got abundance of quality there for me. You know, if Gruev, whether you rate him or not, he's serviceable. He's fifth choice. You've got Longstaff when fit. We've got a lot of good players in there. Obviously, Tanaka stack. You lose DCL, knackered for me. Knackered. And I'm a massive Metcha fan, by the way. But I do feel like if we got told DCL were out for 3 months, I'd be worried. 1st of Feb, DCL's out till the end of the season. All his asses would fall out on that one. I'm pretty sure of that. I really am. Don't mention Penny. He'll go on a rant. Yeah. Like, don't mind. Cheers, man. Thank you. Yeah. 200 people watching, 209 people watching little old me on here. Thank you so much. Please smash a like. Only 95 likes. Don't like saying only, but when there's 200 of you in, bang that bloody like button. Thank you so much. Kershaw, signing a backup to DCL is difficult. Metcha has 4 goals this season. Brian Brobby has 3. Mix. You realise it's not. I agree. Metcha, I've said this before, Kershaw, and I've been, but 2 of them were penalties, and one of them penalties he missed. It was a rebound. Metcha, 4 goals. Brilliant. Brilliant. You know, the minutes he's played as well, it's a decent goal to minute ratio. He's had a great season as Metcha. But yeah, it's not that easy. Like I say, Strand Larsen could come in and he may not get 4 goals by the end of the season. You know, it's one of them. You can throw money at as much as you want. It doesn't mean it's going to stick. Apparently, we're in talks to sign Baturina. Yeah, which makes no sense for what we need. Is he an attacking midfielder, JJ? Croatian attacking midfielder, I think, isn't he? Out at Como. Good player, great player. Needle mover, difference maker. I would like an attacking midfielder, but I'm not sure we're massively even now, because I've been talking about getting a 10/winger, someone in that attacking area. All of a sudden, Aronson's coming up with these sort of performances that the player I wanted to sign would be delivering, and he's bringing it as Aronson. You know, creating goals and scoring goals right now are a problem for Leeds United. You know, we're scoring a couple of goals a game on average now over the last 8-9 games. We are scoring for fun. So actually, is creativity a problem? We all thought it would be, and it was for a period of time. I'm not too sure it is now. I kind of think now it's just covering the areas that we are vulnerable in. So I don't actually know if we need any sexy signings. I don't know if we need any big signings. As much as I'd like a 20, 30 million pound player, we all do, because that tells you it's a better signing. When realistically, it doesn't actually mean that's going to be the case. But I do think we need cover at left back, cover up front. They're the 2 areas for me. Another centre half, but again, the centre halves are playing well. So there's an argument that everyone you bring in is just a cover option. But the cover option needs to be pushing the starting option for me. Jack Harrison, only deal that clubs take the bait on is an option to buy just alone another name. He will be back. Yeah, so I see that being the case. And guess what? He's got 2 years left in his deal after this season. 2.5 years left in his deal currently at Leeds United. That is brutal. Brutal. Dan James back next week. Yeah, I thought that'll be great. I mean, I'm really intrigued to see where he fits in this side now. I think he ends up being a super sub. I think he's a great super sub too. I think he's great off at bench, mixing it up, change of formations within the game. I don't think we're going to start many games with wingers. Maybe that changes with James coming back. It gives him another option, but he'll definitely play every game. He'll come off the bench every game. He'll be that probably go-to player, and I think he's a great option. And he terrifies defenders. He needs to deliver in the Premier League. He's got 17, maybe 16 games to do that when he comes back. Hopefully he can get in that side and have an impact off that bench, because I don't see him starting now, which is a shame, because I do think he's got a lot to offer. What is his? I'll tell you what, Phil, I haven't done my homework on that one, mate. I couldn't tell you. I don't. He came last year. I would assume we've still got a couple of years left on his deal, Phil, in my opinion. I would assume we've still got a few years. So I don't think it's a case of, you know, his deal's got 6 months or 18 months left. I'd assume Larson's still got a fair few years on his deal, but he won't want to be a championship striker. And when he signed for Wolves, and the season he had last season, maybe internally they knew there were going to be this drop off. But I don't foresee him thinking Wolves would have got relegated when he signed for Wolves, a couple of years ago when he signed for them. I couldn't see this happening. In my opinion, Perry has yet to make a real howler. But it looks like it's just waiting to happen. Hopefully he can avoid any clout. Yeah, for me, he hasn't been any howlers, but he has cost us points. Now, he started to cost us points. But I do agree, there hasn't been like a highlight reel that you can go back on like you could for Melier. But that doesn't mean he has, he's been good either. But yeah, I agree with that. There's been no chucking ball into net. There's been no embarrassing moments. But there's been moments where, the analysis of Sky or Match at Day, even when it's not goalkeepers, can, just people who know football, even us just watching him against Man United come out and leave all that, space to his right hand side. It's becoming blatantly obvious that more games that go by, he isn't up to this level for me, BMG. But you are right in what you're saying. He hasn't done any massive clangers, but the odd error is now resulting in the odd point being dropped, and ultimately we're not really in the position to be dropping points from individual errors. But I tell you what, we've had plenty of individual errors from loose passes and stuff like that, own goal by Goodmanson. He's not the only one, but I do think everybody else has a bit more credit in bank. Everybody else is a little bit better, I think, at their role within this side, in this squad. And I just think Petty, I think we've overpaid for him, but it is still early days, isn't it? Hopefully Ramazani back now. Is it a case of Jack Harrison gone, Ramazani back in? I don't know. I'm a big Ramazani fan, but it's gone quiet. I'm not too sure. Does he stay at Valencia? It ain't going too well for him there. I'm not 100% certain if that even happens, The West Ham, Forest, Wolves and Burnley games are all completely winnable if we can do that way close staying up. Yeah, they are. West Ham's away. Forest, Wolves and Burnley, they're all at home. You've got to be targeting 3 wins or 2 and a draw there. Like we've got loads of winnable games coming up. I think we stay up just from his games at Ellen Road, personally. I think we can get 4 wins from his remaining, 8 games at Ellen Road, whatever it'll be. I think we can win at least half of them. A couple of draws. We're not going to lose many at home, no matter who we play. Penny made 2 mistakes against Newcastle, Manchester shite. 0 chance, Larsen, guys. Where is this coming from? Tom Leeds, again, it's out there. There's no credible sources. It literally comes from Bet365 dropping his odds from 33-1 to 2-1. I don't think we get him either, Tom Leeds. I think there's nothing in it, but I am intrigued as to why it's gone from 33-1 to 2-1. It's not just dropped from 33 to 25-1. It's dropped from 33-1, not happening, absolutely no chance, to 2-1. And he's only, his evens to stay at Wolves. There isn't much of a difference between him staying at Wolves and Leeds in the bookies' eyes. But yeah, I think Penny is one to review in the summer, 100%. Get Bamford back. No thanks. Tim Barrett, we have been linked with the knee striker Moffi, whose contract is due to be terminated. He would be on a free. I did a video about that yesterday. Tim, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Yeah, it was involved in an incident with the Nice fans back in November, back end of November, where they all sort of stormed the bus and were aggressive towards multiple players and coaching staff on that side after a loss to Lorient, 3-1 loss, venting their anger at the team. And he hasn't played since. He's been on sick leave, gardening leave, or whatever. He hasn't played for 6 or 7 weeks now. And there's a tribunal or a court hearing or something tomorrow where he's hoping to severance his contract and not be a Nice player no more. If that happens, he's a very good player. But what I will say, he's only played 6 games, I think, this season. Last season, he was out all season, bar the last couple of weeks with an ACL. So he hasn't played much in the last 18 months. Prior to that, he was brilliant in legal. Great player, 26-year-old Nigerian international, brilliant player. Moffi, if he were a free transfer team for this season right now, I'd get him in. Because again, if DCL stays fit and Metcha, they're going to be preferred anyway. So it might be hard to convince a top striker to come in. And I do think cover is good enough for Leeds United this season right now in the short term. And Moffi would be a great third option for Leeds United. And I think would be a better option than what Pirro is currently. Perry is crap. Evening, AG. Hope you're good, mate. Moffi scored loads of goals last season. This season been poor. Season before, he scored loads of goals, Arthur. Last season, he had an ACL. This season, he's been poor, but only played 6 games, coming back from an ACL and hasn't played many minutes. Which player stays if we go down? We're not going down, Lee. Not even going there, mate. Not even going there. I think we need to protect against possible injuries for the next 18 or so games. We don't need game changes. We need solid. That's it, BMG. That is it. Callum Wilson, he'd do it for me too. I think we're all on the same page of that. striker, left back. They're the two where we look vulnerable. Midfield, central midfield, we've got plenty. Centre half, got plenty. I think we do sign a centre half. Hopefully, Doki. Right back, great. Two superb options. Wingers, we're not playing with any, so the 2 or 3 we've got kicking around is enough. 10, Aronson, wherever the chuffy's playing, 10, 8, on wing, just let him keep doing what he's doing. He looks unbelievable. Look at the signings West Ham have made. What, the couple of strikers? John Pepper, hi Matt, you okay? But yeah, I'm not bad, John. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're good. 217 people watching. Thanks so much for your support. Please smash a like and subscribe if you're new here. Not only is our best 11 good enough, we don't really want to be trying to integrate new stars into the team. So 2 or 3 backups and offload Mez. Yeah, I mean, they'd be the ones I'd offload. Mezan, Harrison and Pirro. Don't roll off the tongue nicely putting Pirro in with them too. But yes, I think Mez and Harrison get the wages off. They've got no future. Pirro, there's no need in being here if he's not going to kick a ball. There's no point. We need needle moves. We need difference makers, not people who are just filling a spot, which is what he's doing on that bench, really. And then it does allow you to bring in some more players. I agree. We don't need anyone to come in and upset the apple cart. Things are going well at the minute. A couple of, like you say, backup options. But like I keep saying, I've said it 3 or 4 times tonight, they need to be pushing the starters. I don't just want Deadwood coming in. They need to be pushing the starters. Hey up, Graham. Even everyone, night shift, bitch, back at work and working hard, watching Class Channel. Keep up the top content here. Thanks, Graham. Thanks so much for that, pal. Really, really appreciate you saying that. And I hope everything's good your way. Looks like Cresswell to Wolfsburg, so 3 million coming our way. 15% sell on. I heard, Gavin. My maths ain't great. 10% for. How much is he going for? How much is it 20 million or something? But yeah, Cresswell goes to Wolfsburg. Double-headed sword, that one. We get some money for him. And also, Wolfsburg were looking at Doki. Sound. Give us the money. Well, give Toulouse the money. Let us get the kickback from that deal, which is brilliant. Finally, a little bit of good news from us selling Cresswell, because I was fuming. I still am, because I think he's a top player. Surprised he's going to Wolfsburg. I suppose he's Leeds, Millwall on loan. Toulouse, Wolfsburg. Is it a side move, or is it? It's a step up, isn't it? It's a step up from playing for Toulouse to going to Wolfsburg, I would suggest. I'm surprised. I thought we were going to come over here. West Ham were linked with him. Tottenham's been linked with him. I kind of felt it'd be in the Premier League would be his next move. But I tell you what, a kickback of 3 million quid if that's what it ends up being, Gavin. And the fact that they would rule themselves out of the Doki signing then is great. He's great for Leeds, because again, he's a player I want. If we sign a centre half, he's my number 1 choice. As it stands, striker, left back, then centre half is my preference. Probably chuck a keeper in there as well, maybe even before a centre half. But I kind of look at it. I keep thinking Seb Bornau's going to leave. And I know he's played some game time, and I know he's got a little bit of a knock. I can't get out my head that for some reason Seb Bornau will leave, which is mad because he's only been here 2 minutes. I just felt he was going to leave, but then he's played some games lately. But then again, if everyone's fit, he ain't going to play many games. So I don't know. I can see him leaving. That's just my opinion. Not really based that bother. I just kind of had it in my head he were going to leave before, and then he had a couple of games, and has that done enough to persuade him he'll play in a World Cup season when he wants to try and get in that Belgium side? I'm not too sure. If he moves on and goes to Bundesliga, I think if he'd have gone to Wolfsburg, he'd have started every game. You know, Fulham still have 3 players at the AFCON as it stands. Everton have 2. So I didn't know that, BMG. I didn't even look into that. But yeah, Senegal are in the final. Pirro needs to move on, and I love him, but he needs to give us cash and lift his own career. Yeah, I agree with that. Rotherham are bottom. They're not bottom, mate. I think they're 3rd bottom or 4th bottom. I'm pretty sure after. If I'm wrong, I apologise. I'm pretty sure they're not bottom, but yeah. Hi, mate. Been watching you for ages, says Dale. I think you do a great job of what you do. Thanks so much, mate. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you saying that, Dale. Thank you so much. Kershaw, like and subscribe. Let's get Matty to 5K this year. Cracking channel. Always puts plenty of effort into engage your fans. Kershaw, thank you. Thank you so much, mate. You're absolute giant. Every time I see you, I just think giant. I think I'm, a couple of 100, 200 and something away from 5K. So, yeah, I'm going to keep pushing. The numbers are a sort of a byproduct, I suppose, of just putting in hard work and a little bit of luck along the way as well, that people like what they see, I guess. But, yeah, great. Thank you so much for that. Whatever comes of it, mate. Every single every single viewer, subscriber is a person, and you're all entitled to come on here. And I will try my best to get through comments. I will do my best, but I absolutely love this. Like I said, I've had a bit of a shit week. Whenever I think I'm a little bit down or whatever, I just throw myself into stuff I enjoy doing, set my mind off it. So that's why I'm always on here. But appreciate that, lads. Thank you. Harry is 17, I think. He's 18 now, I think, BMG. You're right. The way it's easier to play right back for us in Champo than centre forward in the Prem. It will do good for him to get shit out 6 months. Yeah, well, you know, it'll be a proper leveler for him, won't it, BMG? He's used to being top dog in under 21s, yeah. And even at Leeds, you know, he's a grey, in here. Like, he's going to have that sort of air of invincibility, and I love that because I think that's what makes the top players. And I think he's a confident lad, and why would you not be? He's unbelievable at his age. It's going to be class for him to sort of go down to, you know, shitty pitches, you know, atmospheres which were raucous. And yeah, it's going to be a bit shit some weeks, innit? There'll be some weeks at Rotherham where his service is poised. He'll have to do a lot of it on his own, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's a great move for him. Great move for him. Matty, is your cookbook out for Easter? Martin, yes, get Matty past the Leeds View. Fantastic content provider. Thanks so much, Martin, man. Don't know where these comments are coming from today, but I appreciate it. So, it's a nice lift. Thank you. Do you think we get Hamer? Emmett, I've done a couple of videos in past saying we're going to get Hamer. We should get Hamer. We have spoke to Hamer in the past. 100% we could have got him in the summer. It were there. It was done. We've spoken to him. We could have got him. We chose not to. I don't know why again. Maybe it was financial. Maybe there's something in it. Hamer for 6 million quid. I would do it for 6 million quid. Do I think we need him now? I don't, Emmett. I thought we needed him in summer. His stock's fallen 100%. I would have him as an option, but I don't think he's good enough now to come in and start for Leeds United. And I think Hamer wants to play football. He doesn't even start every week for Sheffield United, but he's good enough at Premier League level, in the right system, with the right team, he'd play well. I've heard rumours that Coventry are looking at him again, and I think that'd be a great move for him. Go to Coventry, probably get promoted to be a Premier League player again next season, Emmett. I'd have him, but I don't think he'd have the impact now that he would have had if we'd have got him in the summer. But I don't know how you feel about that. For 6 million quid, fucking hell, it's 6 million quid. You know what I mean? Paid 15 for. Who was that playing? Who was that winger we had from Portugal? I always forget his bloody name. The Championship. I thought he was shite. From Wolves. I always forget his name. 15 million quid for him, wasn't it? So yeah, I think for 6 million quid, I'd have him. I would have him. We have slightly easier games in the second half of the season. Burnley, Forest, Wolves. Yeah, all at home. 49ers need to go. Wow. Like I said, Martin, Helder Costa, see at bottom. Cheers, Ming. I don't know why I forgot that. Helder Costa. Yeah. I say 15 million quid for him, wasn't it? So yeah, Hamer's worth 6. Do we want Hamer? I don't think we do. I'd have him. Yeah, it is. It's a mad fall, that, isn't it, from what we're... I don't think we need Hamer, especially since Aronson's found form. That's it. I don't think we're not struggling to create anymore. We're not. So I don't think we'll look at him, to be honest. I really don't. Crazy, this. Absolutely crazy. Halfway through the window and 5 games played in January, still no help. I tell you what, Patrick, this is something I said, and I said I would criticise 49ers for, but I still haven't. We needed to do all as January, or the majority of his January dealings early, but maybe we don't do any January dealings, so we'll have to see. But like you say, 5 games gone already, you know. We've dropped points in them games. We have. It's still been a good run. You know, we've only lost one of them 5. We've got to win cup, so everything's looking rosy. But maybe a couple of them draws with a needle mover, with a couple of signs, maybe we'll be 2 points better off by now. We'll turn one of them into a win. Who knows? Yeah, Brett, there's something in that, mate. There is. I think as a squad option, I'd have him on bench, 100%. JJ and Bogle offer different things, but Bogle is better of the 2 to start games, and Petty will be coming good. He had amazing stats in League One. Yeah, I think Bogle's probably will get back in, and I think Justin's a great player to bring off bench to see a game out a bit more defensively solid. I get that, or Leeds at WeTV. Penny had amazing stats in League. What I will say with that is he only played 1 season in League. He was in Brazil till he was 25 years of age. He's come over to Europe, 1 season in League, and then he's come to Leeds. I'm not too sure if he should have had another season. And what I will say is, when you're playing for Lyon, they're one of the better sides over there. Don't get me wrong, they're not dominating league. They're not the best in France, but they're a better side. They play a better brand of football over there than what we did for start half a season. He's going to have a lot more comfortable time, I think, being the keeper at Lyon in France than he is at Leeds United in Premier League. Will he come good? Let's hope so. I don't think he's good enough, in my opinion. I think he's got too many red flags for me. Flaps at corners, punches when he can catch. I think he got gassed up with this long throw, and I'm just not too sure. I hope I'm wrong, because I absolutely was buzzing when we signed him. I thought it was going to be such a jump on Meslier. And maybe he's a massive jump on Meslier. Maybe he's a lot better than Meslier, maybe, but he's not a lot better than Darlow, which I think is the problem for me in my head. But I hope you're right. He needs to come good, because 16. We've spent too much money on poor players for me. Spent too much money on players that aren't worth it. We've kept all the players and not sold them at the right time. And 16 million quid's a lot of money to throw away if it's wrong. Aronson, make here Zidane has been like a new sign, the biggest improvement in player this season. Yeah. Aronson and Farker have just gone on the same sort of trajectory in the last month, haven't they? Last 5, 6, 7 games. They're both just this redemption arc on both of them. He's just been unbelievable. He's mirrored the manager in terms of where the fuck has this come from, you know? A profile like Ben Davies. Of course he would. Ben Davies, I've been saying that for the last 18 months, BMG, when I thought he could have left Tottenham. Brilliant player, injury problems and stuff. But again, Leeds United, sometimes we're only in the conversation for these better players or good players because they've got an injury history or there's a few issues here or there. And that means they're gettable for Leeds United, because if they didn't have that, they'd be elsewhere. And I think Ben Davies, with no injuries, with 200-300 Premier League games behind his back, would be going to a side further up the table than where we are. But Ben Davies, I would have loved him at any point in this last 18 months. And it's been rumoured a few times. Still not happened, though. Yeah, Rune, I am there with you 100%. Update. Looks like Paqueta is going in the next few days. Yeah, great. Get rid of him. Richard Hogan, evening, Matty. What's happening, everybody? What's happening, mate? Hi, mate. Just tuned in. Are we just taking a risk not signing anyone because the 49ers can sit on their hands in this window? Once again, say we will be all right. We got just go and get free play. I agree. I always say it, and it's the most basic thing I say ever. But if you believe, let's be fair in here now, there'll be loads of us in this chat. It's 211 here now. There'll be loads of you, maybe all of you will say Leeds will stay up the season. But that may be based on signings, maybe based on fitness. Right now, no injuries. Everyone stays fit, which won't happen. The team is good enough to stay up. Then we kick on again next season. If the 49ers will know more about, the side, the players, the fitness, of sports science than we do, they can make a calculated risk based on knowing more information about the whole situation behind the scenes. But if they look at it and go, if they're sat in a boardroom and going, right, we've got 40 million to spend, say, or let's just say, they probably haven't even got that, but say they have, and go, right, 40 million, we're going to bring this player and this player and this player. Where do we finish? 15th, maybe. Where are we currently? 16th. Right, okay. Do we think we finish lower than 16th if we don't make those signings? Nah, probably not. We're happy where we are. Why would you spend it? So that's the issue, and that worries me, because I think if we get the rub of the green and we don't get the injuries, we're fine and we'll finish 16th, 15th, 16th, probably 16th. If we sign a few more, maybe we get a bit more out and we'll finish a place higher, but it gives us that cushion of we're definitely not going to go down if we bring a couple of decent options in. There's still that doubt in our mind because we're Leeds fans. We've got that Leeds tag. We've been there, fruit doldrums. We've been there a lot longer than 49ers have been there. We know more about club than they do because we've lived it, we've breathed it. We've heard stories from us uncles and aunties, as brothers, as sisters, everybody, as granddads. We just know the club. It's us. We're Leeds, aren't we? And we'll still be able when they're long gone. So we know what happens with Leeds. It's always worst case. And that doesn't leave us. That's always going to be there in the back of our mind. But they can make a calculated risk on more information. So they may, in fact, gamble because they know more than we do. They've gambled in past. They gambled in January last season, and it paid off. For me, you've got to push the boat out this time because lightning doesn't strike twice. It doesn't. All the players have to compete to play in the first team. 100%, Andy. 100%. It needs to be that way. It needs to be. Every player has to have good competition. Derby FA Cup, we beat them with a rotated team that had 3 passengers in the side. Okafor, one of them. Maybe we see the best next season. Nonto deserves a spot. Yeah, I mean, I'd be quite happy to see Nonto start. If you're going to start with an Okafor on pitch, I would like to see Nonto given a chance. Richard Jorgen Strand Larsson, not for me. It's not going to happen, Richard, for me. It's not going to happen. 33-1 to 2-1. Why? I don't know. But I'd have him. DCL gets 10 G&As as successful transfer. Well, he has had a good transfer then, because he got 1 assist. Has he got 8 or 9 goals? It's pretty much there. Harrison not going now, wants to stay till end of season. I've not seen that half unless it's happened while I've been on here. I think Harrison goes if somebody wants him. I think if Harrison's come out and said that and that ends up being the case, I think it's just Fiorentina have pulled out the deal. And I think if anybody who were interested in Jack Harrison watched his performance at Pride Park last Sunday, I think they'd all be pulling plug on that deal because he was absolutely shocking. Jack Harrison, that was one of the poorest performances I've seen from an individual in Leeds in a long time. So bad. But I do think he's back up, sort of wing back at that position as well. So surely we're looking, the fact whether he's gone or not, I think he goes to Fiorentina. I do. If he goes or not, we're looking surely at getting him out. So we must have somebody in the pipeline to bring in. Because when he covered on that left-hand side, if we play 3-5-2, we have 6 mids to choose from. Ampadu, Stack, Aronson, Longstaff, Tanaka, Gruev. We could play any combination, really. The missing element is an attacking one. Yeah, I agree. Although Aronson looks to be doing that now, BMG, but he isn't notoriously an attacking sort of flair needle mover, is he? He's just an hard-working, industrious sort of player who gives you high-octane energy. All of a sudden, he's ended up being that final product guy that we never knew we needed. Well, we knew we needed, we never knew we had. Is it a purple patch for Aronson, or is this him now? Is it a purple patch for Farker and Leeds, or is this him? Is this us now? All these questions will be answered over from now to end of season, and we just need a little bit more help in there to send us on his way. I'm sure Harry Gray's 16. He's 18, mate. He's 18. He's 18 now. He was 18 a month or so ago. Left-sided play was crucial. Yeah, no, he's 18. He was 18 a month or two ago. Not if he can't get ahead of Okafor under Farker, then maybe we need another winger, sell Willie to I mean, I love Willie Nonto. I think he's good enough to play for Leeds United in Premier League. I do. I think under a manager that believes in him, he'll do really well. I believe that Harrison is leaving when it's finally done. It shouldn't happen, BMG, from the point that he isn't good enough to play for anybody. I watch Ngegi now and again. Now and again, I'll see some of his videos, and he says there's always somebody for everyone. And he did say if he moves to Fiorentina, that proves that point. Because I do think, who'd buy Jack Harrison? Let's be fair, he's got a bloody good agent. He got to Everton for 2 seasons on loan, and then he's got Fiorentina potentially going to make the deal to take him over there. So Pedro stay now. He wants to stay. He says, I think Pirro may go up a little bit back end at window alpha. It all depends, how sort of deals happen from now. Evening all. What did I miss? Just a load of waffle, really, Bremner. You like to go back and watch it from beginning, pal. Just a load of waffle, mate. Just chatting about the rumours, in and out, really, about from Leeds. Probably need a better version of Nonto, Aronson, Nonto. Very hard. Nonto, Aronson, Nonto. Very hard to find. I appreciate. Yeah, of course it is. James right wing back could be a potential. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we don't need to explore that room because Justin and Bogle are there, and hopefully they're not injured to the point we've got to try that. But in certain game state, maybe that's what they'll look at. No, definitely not. Oh, am I wrong with that, BMG? Because I'm sure he's 18. I am sure he's 18. Great turn 17. Fair enough, BMG. Fair enough, mate. I would have him at 18. I would have him at me. I'm good. I'm wrong with that. But he does seem a little bit too old for him, doesn't it? Yeah, 17. What a tool. What a tool. To say it so chest out as well. But that is me. I am a bit of a tool. Fair enough. Yeah, it is, mate. It is. Fiorentina got no money anyway. Well, they don't in that league, do they? They don't. Who do you want, Matty? Who do I want? Trafford on loan in net. That's what I want. What happened? Trafford on loan in net. Dorky at centre half. I'd have Harrison Burrows at left back as cover for Goodmanson. it's hard because I don't want to say names and you think, we could get better than that. But I'd have Callum Wilson as backup as well for striker. I think if we sign Callum Wilson, Burrows, Dorky, that'd be all right for me. And they aren't going to cost loads of money. Dorky, but 11 million quid for Dorky, 5 million for Harrison Burrows at left back, which is cover, and Callum Wilson as a free transfer potentially. For those three for 16 million quid, and I think that's decent for us. When people say, we need this and that, and I get that, but I really do think we just need backup players, but they need to be good enough to come in and push. And I think Callum Wilson is potentially a better option than Pirot. I think he is better than Pirot. I think he's a decent option behind Metcher, if not in front of Metcher. And I think Burrows is decent. If it happened to Goodmanson, I think he could come in and do a job again. Is he proven at Prem level? No, but yeah, I think it's sailed as well. But yeah, obviously I could come on here and say I want X and Y. I want players that aren't realistic. But realistically, I think those three would be decent options. But yeah, James Trafford in net would be a dream, but that ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. Yeah, it is, Brett. It is getting changed at the end of the season PSR. I'm not too sure into what, but I hope we don't scupper the Harrison deal by insisting on terms, lose his wages for 6 months and create a space in the squad, and I am happy. I just think it will fall through. That is the worry. You push for an obligation and they want an option. Yeah, obligation would be better. Option probably means he comes back to Leeds United because it won't work, I don't think, because I don't think he's that good. But get him off the wage bill this season and we'll worry about him in summer. 237 people watching. Honestly, crazy numbers. Thank you. 150 likes. Please smash a like if you haven't done so already, man. It really helps the channel, I promise you. It really helps me out. Yeah, and please subscribe and make sure you're back for Late Night Leeds on Thursday. If you've not watched Late Night Leeds before, it's something a bit different, and there'll be a Leeds quiz on as well. So come back for that. Richard Hogan, from a petty perspective, think he was at fault for the Scum goal, but not sure he was fully responsible for many other goals. I think Scum, Newcastle, I think we're at fault for the last goal at Newcastle as well. Yeah, 100%. I'm hearing Darlow goal for Saturday. Arthur, I don't know who you're hearing that from, but I hope you are correct. Evening thought we would have had a signing or two by now. I don't think we make any. Nick, I think we do. I think we're bringing a couple. I do. I genuinely do. I think Harrison goes out as well. I think Pirot may go out towards the end of the window, in my opinion. I think two come in on top of the Ngegi, who's in now, really. It just hasn't been announced. But that is just an under-21s move. It won't factor our squad this season. How about we sell Harrison and Millie at Rangers for a package of 30 million? Yeah. Be nice, wouldn't it? In South Africa, Moffi is I don't know. Too bulky. Would be a good idea to look for a new loan for Rama. If things aren't going too well at Valencia, he doesn't have a chance to come back. Yeah, Rich, I agree. If it's not working at Valencia and he ain't coming to Leeds, bring him back and send him out somewhere on loan. I'd love to see a Ramazani at Leeds, but it's not going to happen. And if it does, he's again just going to be sat on bench, wasted away. Get him back, send him on loan to Championship. Watch him tear it up. Yeah, it can't be done, mate. I'd have had him. He does, Patrick. Interested to see how that goes. I think if Moffi ends up a free transfer, I reckon in the next couple of days, and it may all be waffle, as you know, a lot of people don't believe the transfer stuff until it comes from our side of stuff, but sometimes transfers happen and we hear it from the other side first. If Moffi is a free transfer, Patrick, I think you will hear a lot of players, a lot of teams, including Leeds United, talking about Moffi or being in the conversation with Moffi. I think as a free transfer, great option. Great option. We don't beat Burnley. Parker got Farker. But we also thought, what's his name had it, didn't we, at Derby? But he didn't. John Eustace. But I understand these Championship away Premier League. It's a bit different. But yeah. There'll be 1 minute sounds for Teddy York Saturday. Yeah, there should be as well. Yeah, there will be. AG, 15% profit for Cresswell. So basically 15% of anything over 4 million. I'd love to know what that transfer is, though, for him. If someone said earlier 3 million quid we'd make, so he's going for a decent amount, but I wouldn't have thought Wolfsburg were in the realms of spending that sort of money, but we'll have to see. The reason Pirot is worth selling is that we can get a decent fee, plus he clearly ain't going to play much, and he's not suited how we play. No, I agree. Problem is, again, will we be on the other end of a loan? Will it be a loan with an obligation? Potentially. But again, if they're not going to play now and you can get a loan with an obligation, just do it. I do think it'd be a shame to not just get, say he goes, if we can get 15 million for him, just get it now. But the way football is now, a lot of people are going on loans for obligations. But I just think he ain't going to play at Leeds. There is some value there for us to get for him. The longer he sits on bench, the longer he's sort of wasting away there and his value's depreciating. So move Pido on for me, 100% BMG. Let's bring people in who are going to make a difference right now. You can understand Cresswell going to Wolfsburg after all. He has nothing. It's a proper dad joke that he has nothing to lose to them. He's here all night. Class that. Class that. Can you get my message? On what, mate? On what? On what? Who's Carlos? Carlos commented on my Leonard and Gedi. What a load of bollocks. I can't believe people watch shit like this. Shit like what? I've literally said Leeds have signed Leonard and Ngegi, who's a 18-year-old player who's going to come into under-21s. And that's what I said. Like, that is what's going to happen. He's here now. I've seen the picture of him in his training gear. We signed him a year ago. What bollocks is about that? Like, why is that shite? Like, it's not my fault that he ain't a starting player. I'm just telling you, we've signed an under-21s player, and I literally say that as the video starts. Oh, God, I don't know why you all watch this shite. Listen to whoever he was. He's getting blocked later. Oh, I Wolfsburg in Europe, maybe. I'm not too sure, Richard. I'm not too sure. I don't watch much of Bundesliga. Imagine Pido going to Blunts to join up with Bamford. Yeah, imagine. He'd be sounding champ, though, wouldn't he? He'd be sounding champ. Arthur, Pido out. Say Callum Wilson in makes a lot of sense. Wilson suits what we need. Plus, we get money in. It's short term, but it works. Yeah, I think that's a great deal for now, which is what all that matters. Perhaps what Pido for him plus 10 million. We are getting 4 points from Fulham Everton. That's what I expect, Ming. That's what I expect, mate. If we stay up, I think we would sell Pascal and not on next season. Think we could get good money. I agree, Josh. I think at some point you've got to upgrade, haven't you? Certain players, like a Pascal. I actually think we were looking to upgrade on him this season. It's just so happened. We all thought, but Biol, if he wouldn't have been injured, suspended for the opening day, would have started alongside Rodon. After his big money move from Udinese, Pascal started, and he sort of not really put a foot wrong. He's had an odd mistake like they all have, but he hasn't deserved to come out, Pascal, and the fact the player we're free now, it works. He's a left-sided player. I do think next season is probably where you start to see Pascal maybe phased out, but I love Pascal, and I do think he's a Premier League level player. Some people don't, and that's fine. It's opinions. I think Nonto doesn't have a long-term future at Leeds United now, but I do think that about a few players, like Ramazani when he was here, obviously Cresswell. If Farker don't fancy, and I don't think much is going to change on that front. I would love to see Pascal stay though and try and continue in that role next season, but I do think at some point probably got to upgrade him. Matty, are you planning on bringing Theo to the FA Cup game at Birmingham? I am, mate. Again, it's all subject to tickets. I have some really good friends I've made since I've been in this space. My mate Danny, who I know lives up road from me, who I know would never met if I weren't doing this stuff online. He's very kind to me. I'm like first in line for any spares he gets. It'll be a good allocation. I'm not sure what St Andrews holds, but we get 20% of any allocation for the FA Cup. So if it's a league game in Championship against Birmingham, we might get a couple of thousand, but we get 20% in FA Cup. Just the same as if we were playing at home, you'd find Birmingham come Welland Road and they get 20%. They get 6,000 from the corner at West Stand, probably into the South Stand, which we saw Harrogate have last year, which is a bit of a shame at home games. So people moan about them not being at home, but then we'd be moaning away fans are in our South Stand where we create most of our noise. But yeah, long story short, yeah. Hopefully, mate, if you can get me a ticket, I'll be taking him. It's on Valentine's Day too, so I'll be in bad books, but it was special with my boy. That was so special. Absolutely loved it. Harrison Burrows, yeah, Richard, I'd have him. I wanted him. I think he came from Peterborough, didn't he? I wanted him before they got him. Yeah, they're a bit slack earlier, whatever that Elder Costa one. 6 million is nothing in the Premier League, but is the lottery jackpot most Saturdays. Yeah, it's true that, Bremner. True. Hamer has been that, never was. Come on. Has been that never was, really. Yeah, it's hard because he hadn't had a good season this season, but I did rate him. Helder Costa was good for about 18 months. I never rated him, mate. I never rated him. Full of him today, full of him. The young lad Manny from Wolves is a right baller. Mark, that he is, mate. He is some footballer. Massive talent. Him, cracking player. We need 40 points still. I don't think we do now. And my mate Bob will be loving that because he said we need 30, about 35 all season. I've said 40 all season. I'm starting to change my mind now because I just got how poor West Ham are. I still want to be aiming for top, high 30s. I think there's an opportunity now where 35 you may stay up now because West Ham have won 4 games all season, only one less than us, but are they going to win? They're going to have to win them 4 plus. Well, they're going to have to be at least win 4 more than us, and we're going to win, I reckon, another 4 or 5. So they're going to have to win about 9 games from 17. So I don't think West Ham stay up. I think they go down, and they probably don't hit mid-30s, so we might be all right. But I mean, I get where you're coming from with that because I felt like that all season. 2 wins in 11, so we need to put some threes on the board. Now is the time to turn that screw. Yeah, it's been a weird period, hasn't it, Gavin? We've been brilliant in every game, better than some teams, and we've left with draws. 2 wins in 11 isn't great, but we haven't had many losses in those 11 either. So it's one of them. We're hard to beat, but you need to turn the draws into wins. You need to turn the losses into draws. Luckily, not many losses in there, like I say, but we're good enough. We're scoring enough goals to be turning these into wins as well. That's the problem. We still are conceding in a lot of these games. Iron that out, and we'll be absolutely fine. Justin has been better than we could ask for, to be fair. Time will tell, of course. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, Ming, were saying it was too much, spent too much money. 10 million quid for Justin was too much on a backup. I think we've seen why we took that gamble, which it was a gamble, £10 million for a player. If Bogle would have played every minute, which if he's fit, he would. Farke don't rotate. He may do now because James Justin's had an opportunity to show how good he is. I think everyone knew what he can do, injury dependent again. But he doesn't tend to change. So the fact now that we've seen what they can both do. We've got 2 great options there, but there was definitely a period of time this season where people were annoyed we spent £10 million on a player that we probably don't see. Bogle wanted to play Leeds. I love that, the best club in the world. Yeah, too right. Bornau has played a couple of games, but he's more or less paid back his transfer fee by stepping in for Rotherham. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to know he's a lot more capable player than what we thought. We've had a long time to wait from the Sheffield Wednesday disappointment. I've seen it. Yeah, he was shocking, but but they all were shocking. Okafor was shocking. DCL was shocking when he came on. Biol was shocking. James Justin is mint. Davies too old and slow now. Yeah, maybe he is now. I'm on about maybe 18 months ago I'd have had him. Everyone moaning about James Justin when he came to Leeds. Yeah, they were, mate. Any decent player, you're looking at 25 million plus. Yeah, but I say that, but do you think Tanaka's a good player? There is people out there if you get your scouting right. But yeah, I mean, if we sign a player for 5 million quid, 7 million quid, 10 million quid, you're probably looking at a face of it thinking, nah. But there are players who are good enough under that. Stack, what were they, 18, 20? There are players that are a lot less than 25 million quid that can work out. But I think 25 is that sort of level where you got, right, look what we've signed. It becomes bigger news, doesn't it? I think when you're signing players for sort of values we've been doing, they go under radar. But I don't think that means they're bad players. But the more you spend, you tend to probably think you're going to get a better player, but it's not always the case. If outside the tables this year, they're likely to only be a couple of points between 8th and 16th. Yeah, Bremner's Ghost. It's very congested in that middle area. It's cracking to see in it. It really is. Not getting Bamford back. I'm going now. See you later, Arthur, mate. Take care, buddy. Do we really need wingers with our new formation? Maybe not. But it's nice to have options in it. And I do think we've got, when Dan James come back, we've got enough options there. If we're not going to start with wingers, ideally we play 2 up top and one of them wouldn't be Okafor for me. And if you end up with Okafor on bench, Nonto on bench and Dan James on bench, there's probably no need for a winger. I would have liked a 10 who can operate on the wing. There's a Vargas, Vargas is a rumour that's circulating again today from Sevilla. Can get him for less than 10 million quid. Decent player, needle mover, 4 goals, 7 assists this season. Actually doing it for Sevilla, but they need to release players to bring money in for their own problems. So Vargas will be a great signing, and he can play the 10. He can play on the wing. He'd fit that system. if we tend to play that way. Right now, I don't think we need that player for our starting side. But then again, is Farker only playing the side we're playing now because he hasn't got all the key components to the side he would normally use, which would be a 4-2-3-1 system or a 4-3-3, but he'd normally have that creative player in that 10 sort of position who can operate out wide as well. He hasn't had that all season. The 4-3-3 were working for a bit, then it stopped. And now we've, stumbled on a formation that seems to work best for the squad. But if he had a different option, maybe it would be a different formation. So it'd be interesting to see if we look at any players like that. Strand Larsen is no Henrik Larsson now. He were a player. I thought Nonto might work alongside DCL, but seems Metcher, Okafor, and even Amundsen are ahead of him. Yeah, I agree. I think Nonto would work against him. You know what I'll say is, just because Farker doesn't pick it doesn't mean it wouldn't work. And I've had this a lot. I get a lot of stick. I remember messaging Joe Wayman back and forth at one point over at Ramazani. The Barkley, well, he can't be that good because Farker's not picking him. Like, yeah, but that doesn't mean fuck all. Like, Farker's, it's his job. He knows more than me about football, but he ain't going to get every decision right. I still don't think he should have sold Charlie Cresswell. Yeah, but he wasn't going to play. Who were he going to play over Rodon? Well, no, maybe not. But you shouldn't have sold him for £3 million. You keep him happy, do whatever you've got to do. Don't give him number fucking 5 shirt if you're just going to sell him anyway. Don't give him 5 shirt when we get into Championship and make him feel like he's going to be starting centre half, and then not play him. It's one of them, but we don't get everything right, no. And I think Nonto could definitely play next to DCL, in my opinion, 100%. Mark Hall, Harrison is, 90 grand a week, mad in it. I have BMG, I have, mate. Harrison has been on loan more than a child. Even Ferguson's looking for a way out of. I mean, I do like him. I don't know what he's been doing this season. Now we in for Strand Larsen. Furlong, I don't know. Odds have dropped from 33-1 to 2-1 at the bookies. Bet 365, 33-1 this morning to now 2-1 tonight. What's happened there? Thinking about it, why does the Italian team want Harrison when they have got Solomon? When they have the GOAT Solomon backup, I guess. Fabrizio Romano said Leeds made an approach on Strand Larsen. Sorry, mate, just joined the stream. No worries, my mate. You know more than me. Maybe you should be doing this. I haven't seen anything like that. I've just seen. I assume if he said that, that'll be why the odds have dropped. Leeds should have signed Tyreek George, young lad from Chelsea. Be a good option. The reason you thought Gray was 18 was because there was that fanfare about him signing his first contract. The age of 17, not 18. You are right. That's exactly what I thought. John Pepper, I agree, Matty. We just need to get players keeping the league, then go for it next season. Yeah, I agree. That's exactly where I am with it. Yeah, David, if he's injured, that's the big one. I heard rumours about Leon Bailey the other day. I haven't heard anything about that BMG, but I liked him when he was at Villa. Again, I don't know what he's done last year or two, but I did like him. Leeds, no ambition. Wilson, 33-year-olds. Again, radioactive. I don't think we need to go spend 25, 30 million pounds on a striker, to be honest, who's probably going to play second fiddle to DCL. I think if we had DCL, Metcher, Wilson, and Okafor, who's been playing a second striker at times, I don't think that's bad. 8 points clear of the relegation zone, and you bring Wilson in on a 6-month contract till the end of the season as third choice striker. I don't think that's bad at all. Wilson has been West Ham's number 9 this season. Wilson would be Leeds United's third choice 9. That's the difference. Matty, should we look at Mason Greenwood? No, not for me, mate. He's a good player. He's one hell of a player. One hell of a footballer. Unbelievable. Right at top of the game if shit hadn't happened. But yeah, not for me, mate. Not for me. Interesting how several players that we want in the summer, like Pajau, Muniz, Bakwa, have all been underwhelming. Harry Wilson, who many didn't want, has been unbelievable. You're right there, BMG. Saved a bit of money on Pajau and Muniz. What are the 40, 50 million pound players? Haven't lived up to that price tag, have they? Again, money does not always buy you success. It helps. The more money you have, the better things are usually, but you're always going to have a few that don't work out, and I'm glad we didn't get those players now. Think we will be fools selling Pirro out. Colin, he's always fit and ready. While other strikers are terrible injury records, and Wilson is worse than the other two, although brilliant when fit. You're right with Pirro's sort of availability. The best ability can sometimes just be availability. And yeah, Piro's always fit. He's never injured. But ultimately, he's not going to play in this system. So if he isn't going to play, whether you think he's good enough or not, if Farker doesn't, there's no point in being here. So for me, I don't think Farker values him enough at this level to play. If we'd have got relegated and he's still were at Leeds, he'd have been starting again next season. He's not going to play many minutes in this season. So you may as well get rid, if we can, bring funds in, bring somebody else in who can play that backup role, who also may not get minutes, but somebody who can play that backup role, bank a bit of money and strengthen the areas that are needed. We need a body. You can't lose Piro and not have another body in there, because Piro would be playing if we lost Metchin and lost DCL or injury, because we have no choice. Needs to be a body there, a number there. Yeah, that's how I feel on Piro. I agree. He's an option, and he's always fit. And I like Piro. How can you not like someone who'll give us so many great moments over the last 2 years? But yeah, I don't think that happens either. Perry, he shouldn't have had to save Harvey Barnes' last shot v Nuxall. It was a handball by Barnes. Plenty of blame for it. Yeah, I mean they are, but again, I don't want to go over Nuxall goal. I've already touched on it. I don't think we'll sell Strauch, says BMG. I think he's class, but his value is not super high for some reason. He's as good as a lot of defenders. You know what it is, though? It'd be pure profit, though, BMG. He's been here that long. If I'm honest, if we sell Strauch in summer, I'd expect at least 15 million quid for him. So I do think that's high, considering it'd all be profit. Been here since been a kid, so I think 15 million quid minimum. Especially, you got to think Strauch's had 4 seasons in Premier League after this season. And he's pretty much played in every season. It's gone from not really playing in Championship to getting in that first side when Cooper was injured against Liverpool, and pretty much been our starting centre-half. Played in midfield and left-back as well, and he's played in a few roles. But I think Strauch could command about 15 million quid, maybe more, but 15 million quid. But I tell you what, Doki for 11 is better than Pascal. Different, he ain't a left-sided defender, but I think Doki's better than Pascal, and I love Pascal. I hope Pascal's still playing next season and beyond. I think he's good enough. I think he needs to keep improving, but I still think he's got vast experience for a young sort of player. What is he, mid-20s, 24, 25? Pascal, maybe I'm wrong with that. I'm sure he will play in Premier League for Leeds at 20, 21 years of age. Pascal is our longest serving player right now. He come through our youth ranks, exactly. But I think we command 15 million quid for him, and I think we get it. I really do. Send my best love and wishes to Priest and saying goodbye to a parent is always tough. Yeah, I will, mate. I'll let him know, Richard. Thanks for that. Yeah, well, Priest's mum's funeral on Monday. It was a tough day for all of us, to be fair. It was horrible. Yeah, he did really well. Read a poem out as well, which was tough for him. Shed some tears on Monday, I did. But yeah, thanks for that, buddy. Hey up, mate. Just a load of transfer waffle, mate. Have to go back and watch it. I'm coming towards the end now. Oh, God. If we don't get many injuries, I expect us to finish with 48 points, Bremner Ghost. That is, yeah, I hope so. Have we signed anyone yet, lol? Just Leonard and Ngegi for the under-21s. That will get announced, I think, tomorrow. He's definitely here. We signed him a year ago, and we shall see. Piro is an enigma, scores for fun. That's Swansea, finished top scorer 2 seasons at Leeds, battles Joseph early season, went 9 games on a barren run. Farker probably played him out of position. Yeah, maybe he did. Hey up, Jamie. I'm confused. Why would we get rid of Piro and sign Callum Wilson? Piro knows our system and is good, if not better than Wilson, and he's injury prone. Jamie, Piro's not going to play. He's not going to play, and we need money from somewhere for me. So it's not about Wilson being better or worse than Piro, but is he an opportunity for Piro to move on? Potentially. Whether you want him or not, I think Piro may move on. Then we need to bring somebody in. Are we then going to go buy someone for 20, 30 million pounds? Or do we just need a backup? Bearing in mind, that's what Piro is. Piro's third choice backup right now. Would Wilson be a third choice backup? Yes, for me. It could be, couldn't it? It could be. And he was their starting 9. And he would be our third choice. Is Wilson a good enough third choice for a side that got promoted into Premier League with 8 points clear of relegate? I think so. There's an opportunity. There's a possibility that Callum Wilson comes in and only plays charity minutes come end of a game. Will he be happy with that? I don't know. He's moving from West Ham or leaving West Ham because he wants minutes. They brought 2 strikers in. He probably ain't going to get minutes at West Ham. But we could get him in there, and by the time he's pissed off that he didn't play minutes, it's end of the season, he moves on again anyway. A short-term deal to bring Wilson in to replace a Pirro as third choice, whether you think he's better or not, it's still a good option off a bench for me. Still a good option. And injury concerns and all that, I understand, but he ain't going to be playing mass minutes. He's not. So, yeah, I'm not saying he's better. I mean, he's got more pedigree at Premier League level than Pirro. He's a brilliant finisher. He scored. He was West Ham's top scorer this season. He scored 4 or 5 goals this season, similar to Metcha. If he comes in on a free transfer, I would. If we could get 15 million quid for Pirro and bring Wilson on a free till the end of the season, I think that would great business by Leeds. Smart, astute business. Again, not everyone will agree, and that's fine. And I'd be sad to see Pirro go. I really will. I don't think he's been given a fair crack. I will say that. I don't think he's been given a fair crack. I think we can all say it probably won't work because of the type of striker he is compared to the ones we see him work. But again, it doesn't sit right with me that he hasn't really been given a proper go. But I do agree that it probably won't work. 5-8. Thank you for the maths there, Graham, my mate. Good opportunity. I'll get 2 of them then. Lots of the losses and draws we have had have been down to stoppage time. Yeah, they have, mate. To be fair, we concede a lot in stoppage time, don't we? We bought brilliantly for the season. Ian, I agree. I think most of the signs we actually got right. We missed a few. We didn't get them all in that we wanted, but I think they've been brilliant. I think we've done some really good business. Wow, 213 people still watching. I'm coming towards end now. I'm going to get last few comments, and then I'm going to call it a night because I am shattered, everybody. But thanks so much for tuning in. 203 likes, honestly. You absolute legends, man. Thank you. Pascal did not come from our youth ranks. No, Jamie, but he's been at our place since he was a youth. We signed him, didn't we, from Ajax, from their youth, and he's been at Leeds since he was about 18-year-old. He didn't come through his ranks, but he came into our youth setup and came through. It's just the way I speak, pal. But yeah, I know he didn't come through. I know he didn't join from bleeding Farsley Celtic, mate, and make his way through academy. I get that. But he came in as an academy product and then came through into the first team that way, didn't he, as a young lad. But yeah, I get that. Sometimes it's just the way I talk, mate. With the new formation, do we need a new wing back to replace Byram? Yes, we do. We need a new left-sided wing back for me. Byram seems surplus to requirements. Really only fits in back 3. Probably should play against Birmingham. Yeah, I think it might do. It may well play against Birmingham. It depends on fixtures either side, doesn't it? What I'll say is with Byram, he won't be pushing for a move, though. I don't think he'll be pushing for a move. Some players are happy with their position in the squad, and I think Byram's one of them. I think he's one of them. He ticks a box, does Byram, and I think he's happy to be that box ticker. He's at his hometown club. He loves us. It is what it is. Yeah, he did. I know. Ngegi, Strand Larsen will look at his options and leaving Wolves is his best, but do we want him? I've got my reservations about him. I'd have him, but again, if he's going to cost 30 million quid, I'm not sure he's the guy, which he might well be. That's how much he costs, but I do think he's a good player, obviously. I think he showed that last season. Evan Ferguson would have been okay from Brighton. Don't know how he's been at Roma, so I've got questions due to lack of knowledge. Same Ngegi, I'm not too sure how he's gone on since. He won't play Wilson any more than Pirro. Maybe not. But if Pirro goes, you need somebody else to be there. And if it is Wilson who don't play any game time either, it is what it is. If he don't play, great. That means DCL's fit. So I'm not asked. I asked if we bring in fucking Messi as our third choice attacker or whatever you want to call him. But if we bring in Lewandowski and he don't play because it means DCL's playing well, I'm not really asked. But you need the body, don't you? You can't move Pirro on and not bring in a striker. So yeah, bring in Wilson as backup, third choice. Get rid of Pirro if that's what they intend to, if that's what he wants to do. Let's be fair, Pirro deserves to go play football, but you've got to bring another body in. Wilson, don't cost no, comes in. He's been playing on a pay-as-you-play wage at West Ham. Maybe you do the same at Leeds United. He don't play great. DCL keeps scoring 15 goals, comes end of the season, best signing at window, doesn't he? If we sign Wilson, I think he will be better backup. If DCL gets injured, he's got more suited to how Falco wants to play, regardless of what we think. How much do we think Pirro is going to sell? I actually think if he goes, Jamie, it'll be a loan. But I think Pirro's probably worth what we're signing for. I think he's still worth 15 million quid. My issue is who would spend 15 million quid on Pirro. It ain't going to be a Premier League side, obviously. Teams in Holland, can they just go lump 15 million quid? They can, will they? I'm not too sure the money's there to really do it. Top-end championship sides, again, that's where you're probably looking. Maybe if he stays at Leeds, or maybe he goes out on loan to the end of the season, maybe a West Ham will get relegated. Fancy signing Pirro next season. Someone who's gone down, who's got a bit of money. Maybe a Wolves sell Larsen for 25, 30 and go, I tell you what, we'll give you 12, 15 million for Pirro and he can fight us back to Premier League. I don't know, but surely he's worth 12 to 15 million quid. Surely, Jamie. I don't know. 4 big players in next season, left back, number 10 striker and attacking midfield next season. Yeah, like I say, I'm sure a lot of us agree we need decent backup options probably this season. No massive needle movers, in my opinion, although I wouldn't argue against it. Then I think next season there needs to be some, decent money spent. Pascal is worth way more than 15. Again, opinions, mate. I hope so. I love Pascal. But I didn't want to say 20, 25. 15 was a sort of a safe barometer, but I'd hope for more than 15. I think he's a top player, Pascal. I really, really like him. I think selling Pascal Struijk in the summer would be a good idea. I would prefer a quicker left-footed centre-back with a similar physique. Yeah, can't disagree with that. Can get £40 million player for 15 million. Pascal over a 5-year contract with money left over as well. Yeah, I agree with that, mate. Pirro should be a 12 to 18 million championship player. 15 million for Struijk is not value, in my opinion. If he keeps playing like he is, improves a bit, he could go for twice. So, yeah, maybe. We sold Cresswell for 3 million quid, though, didn't we? I know Cresswell weren't at Struijk's level, but let's be fair, we expected more than 3 million for Cresswell. We don't tend to sell for the right fee for me. At Leeds, we get the fees wrong. We sold Rafinha and what's his face? Forgive Phillips, forgot his name then. Calvin Phillips for a decent amount, but a lot of people weren't happy with that. Chris Somerville. For me, we do sell ourselves short sometimes as a club. Yeah. Some people rate Pascal, some people don't. I think 15, 20 million quid for Pascal is probably what we'll aim to achieve if we do sell him. But if I'm honest, I don't want to sell Pascal. I want him to stay at Leeds. I really, really like him. Considering how many injuries cost us last time we were in the Premier League, then surely we need more squad depth this time so we don't have to suffer second season syndrome. Well, that's what you got to hope the 49ers want as well, Bremner's Ghost. You really have to up there thinking same as us. Don't see Struijk leaving unless we get a couple ready-made players coming in. That would be a summer move. Yeah, I want at least 20 million. He's homegrown as well. Yeah, to be fair, he is. He goes down as homegrown, doesn't he? I don't think so. Mate. Not at this level. BMG, Pirro out 15, Wilson in for free is great business, but 15 for Struijk, despite the pure profit, would be daft in my opinion. We can keep him for a few years and could be good fee in the future. Yeah, I echo that, mate. I echo that. Cheers, mate. Enjoyed that. Cheers, Mark. I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. I said to Jack City should prioritise a decent, proven Prem striker in the window. Jack laughed and said we've got DCL. I will argue with Jack. I've seen how he hardly strikes a ball out, getting away with him. Barham to move to the coaching staff in 27. Bremner's Ghost, I agree with that. I think he'll stay. I think he'll stay on at the club. Yeah, I do. Thanks, Marty. Excellent show. Leeds. Cheers, Martin. Thank you so much. Anyone going to watch Josh Warrington and Nottingham? I'm not, mate. I've been watching it on the TV though. Big boxing fan, but I've never actually been to a boxing match. Right, a boxing match fight. I've never been to an event. Cheers, Matt. A great show. Thanks, Pat. Yeah, it will be 100%. Sign off with a message for just Joe, Matty. Yeah, Rick, I mentioned it earlier. If anyone follows Joe on social media, he's posting a lot more now. When Joe's posting, he's happy, he's in a good spot. His videos are making me laugh. He's smiling, he's laughing, he's dancing around the music now. I've messaged him a couple of times in the last week or two, wishing him the best, telling him he can do it, and keep getting a love heart back, which is nice. So hopefully we'll speak when he's better and he's out of rehab. But it's going well by the looks of it. Keep going, bro. If you see this or hear what I'm saying, we all think the world of you. I only do this because I was inspired by you as well. So just keep going, mate, and you will get there. Never mind, it was fake Fabrizio Romano account. Fair enough, buddy. Anything about Doki? No, mate. No, Halia, Orosate, the same as I want him. We can get him. Leeds just need to do it, don't they? Pascal looks like Elvis's son. Do you see any surprise buys, or will they play it safe and stick with what we've got? There'll be a couple of buys. Whether there'll be surprises or not, I don't know. But I'm expecting a couple in. B Church. Yeah, we'll see. Night all. No way we get JSL. I agree. JSL, JLS, everybody in love, and all that shit. Right, 221 people. I'm signing off there. An hour and 43 minutes. Thank you very much for sharing your Wednesday night with me. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.